I did the soft answer.
You did the fish thing.
Yeah, that's frozen fish.
You know, you live for a pass. You do what you want to know what everybody wants.
My demons do a tight 30.
What's up with the comedy thing? What is basically going on with that? Because it's like yin and yang. First, obviously, all the child years, the Saved by the Bell stuff, and the last few years, everything has been controversial in the news. It's been very edgy.
I had my rebellious 20s instead of teens. You want the real answer?
Sure.
Stand up, I can guarantee work. Acting, you can't guarantee work. You audition for a million things. You can't force people to hire you. Stand up is a form of therapy for the comedian. You can stand up and pour your heart out, and you're not locked into a certain style. Most people end up with a certain style because they find their voice and they find what resonates best with the audience with them. But if you think about it, it's really no different than being at a party and how well you interact socially with people. And I'm kind of a person that kind of interacts with all circles. So I find, you saw my show, I do a lot of crowd work, and I think that interacting with people on an intimate level, I think the stage separates you a little bit from the audience, but not too much. If you can break that boundary, it feels like you're in a living room with people, even if you're in an arena. Brian Regan's my favorite comedian, but I admire the fact that he can work clean. It's such an understated, underappreciated thing to be able to just work clean. Because when I think something's funny, it always ends up in the realm of Family Guy, South Park style humor. It always winds up in the toilet area somehow, and I can't help it. I don't think I'm a bad person for that. It's just the way it is.
Well, I'm finding your material very interesting because when I did like a lot of research, I backtracked and everything. Obviously, Saved by the Bell was obviously the most successful and was so clean. And then I noticed the last few years, in 06, in 07, and then in 09, so many things came out. Obviously, you know, the adult video. Then
right. Which was faked, by the way.
Which was fake. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I used a stunt guy.
It was a stunt guy. Yeah. And then you had the.
I mean, you know why I did that, right? I can't believe people don't understand how easy this is.
Because you could make money off that?
Well, it's because Paris Hilton came out with one, and she made $14 million was the rumor. And my buddy was like, dude, if she's worth $14 million, if Screech did a porn, you could probably get $1 million. And I was like, you know.
And you could try it out.
You might have something there.
Did it actually work, though? Or?
Well, I made good money, but I didn't make $1 million.
Okay.
But I had to try.
And then later on,
I didn't rob a bank or anything. I didn't mug anybody. I didn't break any laws. I just tricked the press a bit.
But you're always tricking, because then all of a sudden when you're doing the reality fit club show, and I've worked on shows before, and I know a lot of that stuff is definitely scripted. So you had the argument with him, and a lot of people didn't know, but you chose to play the bad guy because you didn't want Warren G. Warren G didn't want to play it or something. So
right. Yeah.
That was another.
They wanted Warren to be the bad guy, and he's too soft spoken and nice. And I was like, yeah, I want to get on Dexter, Breaking Bad. Put me in, coach. I can be the bad guy. I wanted to spread my acting chops, you know.
And then you went one more further with the Behind the Bell, I guess, the book.
Yeah, the book was sort of a weird thing as well because it's true, but not really told by me. Like there's I think I referenced someone as douche nozzle or something in there. I've never said that word in my life. How it works is I had a ghostwriter. They're not going to let a first-time publisher, your first-time author, they want 80,000 words. They're not going to let me just handle that on my own. I have a word counter on my. I used to have it like on an old brother word processor way back when, but I don't know. I don't use Word. My wife handles all that stuff. Yeah, 80,000 words, and they added pictures in and stuff. So I talked to a guy for a few hours, and then they wrote it and then gave it to me to read, and I read it, and I was like, whoa, okay, well this isn't right, and this isn't right, and this has changed, and then I gave it back, and I was expecting to get it back to proofread it to see if it was, to correct everything, and then I just found out that they put it out.
Is a lot of it based on facts, or is it based kind of an assumption? From your knowledge of the industry?
Well, there's certain things that they took liberties with. I mean, the stories are based. It's kind of like saying, are the stories of Bigfoot and Loch Ness real? In every myth, in every legend, there's truth somewhere. It's just as time goes on, people have claimed to have had different experiences, and then the stories and mythology expands and grows on its own. It's just in the publishing world, it happens really quick through one person, whoever the ghostwriter is.
The thing I found weird about it was that you had these controversial things that came out, and obviously it wasn't completely you because you said you had to act away for the celebrity thing. The book was additive,
right?
The substitute for the video. And I looked at it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm like, the euphoric high that he had from Saved by the Bell, being so famous and everybody's all on him, all of a sudden now, after that, it's very hard to top that. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio can't top the Titanic hype all of a sudden. So you can't top that.
But he's still doing movies for $10 million a piece, you know. Of course. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I did some things for money, man, but, you know, but I look at it this way. There's never shame in doing something for money. That's why everyone goes to work every day. Of course. That's why you get up. If you could get paid to just sit at home, that's what you would do. You know, if you do something that you love, will you do it for free? Well, then you can't survive. You can't put food on the table. You can't clothe yourself or your family or whatever. Providing that's part of, you know, I want to have a family. Screech money was good, but it's not, you know, I can't put my kids through college off that. And, you know, so it's one of those things where sometimes you got to do it. And some people get into drugs. Some people get into crazy stuff. I've never done anything bad or illegal or anything like that. I just pretend. Yeah, I just pretended to be the bad guy and pretended to have a much larger wang than is completely accurate. Like Howard Stern did. That's how it started. You know, with the porn thing. The Howard Stern was like, you know, so I hear you got a big wang. And I was like, what are you gonna do as a guy? What are you gonna do? What am I gonna say? No, come on. I was forced to say yes. Yeah. So once that happened, I was like, well, okay, I don't see the fallout from that. And then George Carlin said it best: all comedy is shock value. If you see the punchline coming and there's no surprise, there's no shock, there's no joke.
So this whole career has been crafted very, very clearly.
Everything has a reason. Every shot in the movie is with intent. And I think that the art of making things look natural is a very underappreciated art. But it takes more perfection and more... The people who seem the most comfortable and the most relaxed are the most driven by demons.
Have you bombed on stage before?
Oh, God, yeah.
And what do you do when you bomb? Have you ever just walked out?
You look at your watch and you get through it. You look back at Zach Brakovich and say, hey, buddy, get the car ready. Get ready to drive. We're leaving. Make sure we get paid. I mean, I've had a job since I was 8. I mean, the other kids came home and went over to each other's houses and played Nintendo, and I had to go to work.
Can you live off Saved by the Bell? Can you actually just be done with it?
No, I live off stand-up.
Stand-up. Oh, stand-up.
Not Santa. No,
I was about to say.
I don't live off. I live off Santa. Once a year, I write a letter. I leave out milk and cookies, the good stuff, the Pepperidge Farm, and I live off Santa.
So stand-up, all this stuff.
Live off stand-up. 47 weeks a year, I'm out.
That's crazy.
I live on the road.